Welcome to the Shekina Meditation Podcast, created by Shekina community members. Shekina communities are dedicated to creating free devotional spaces of Christian practice for spiritual seekers and travelers around the world. We post Christ-centered guided meditation each week to help you in your personal or small group practice. You can find episode show notes and other information at shekinacommunity.com. Hi, this is Ray. It's week 46 of the podcast. It is Monday, the 26th of August as I record this, and I am happy to be here catching up with you after a week away. Listeners, this podcast is supported by you. Because this podcast is about meditation, we want to keep it ad-free. Our beloved patrons at patreon.com support us for as little as $1 a month, and patrons get extra audio every month. You can find us at patreon.com/Shekina Meditation Podcast. Another way that you can support us is through sharing and rating and reviewing on iTunes, sending the podcast to your friends, and spreading it around. Supporting the podcast helps to keep Shekina communities running and free for travelers and spiritual seekers, and helps us know that you appreciate what we're doing in putting the podcast into the world. Patrons, you are the best. You're like a sunny day after a whole lot of rain. So we took a little bit of a break, and a lot has happened. So things started to build up with a lot of rain here in Pai, and our garden is very close to the river. So if there's a flood, we will be some of the first people to flood. And we had a flood. And I went the next day, and we had gotten everything up out of the way in time, which was great. A couple of things weren't out of the way, but most of it was. And I went the next day to check it out, and I walked around and felt pretty happy with how things looked. There wasn't too much mud or anything around. It looked pretty good, and it felt like, okay, this is manageable, we can do this. Then the same day, a little later on, there was another flood, and that flood brought a whole bunch of mud in, and it was higher. So we spent a week cleaning it, kind of watching the weather, waiting to see what was going to happen, and cleaning and power washing the kitchen and the workshop, cleaning all the stuff, clearing up debris, really diving into cleaning, and clearing out the mud, doing a lot of different things, and then we just had another flood. So it's a little bit disheartening. Ro and Neil and Naomi in particular, as well as Josh, really spent a lot of time cleaning. And it's disheartening to have it all undone. It's like a whole lot of mess is back in our lives. So I think what we need to remind ourselves is that flood season doesn't last forever. And we will have it cleaned up, and the garden will be restored eventually. And I think, it's disheartening, but it is doable. So that's kind of what's been going on. It causes some anxiety, a bit of an emotional toll, but overall we're thankful because most things are protected, and it's all a matter of work and cleanup, and not things being destroyed or anything like that. We also had a bhajan night last night, which was very beautiful at a local cafe in town. Our bhajan group called Marigold Mala guided that many people around town in some Jesus bhajans. It was really beautiful. I felt like, people were really entering in, and the music was amazing. And there was so much good warmth in the room, and even words from Leaf as she gave honor and praise to Yeshuji, to Jesus, It was beautiful. It was a really sweet time, and I felt, once again, like just the privilege of what we do here, that we're able to sit and sing with so many people who come from so many different countries and backgrounds and beliefs, and offer what we bring, which is this love and devotion to Jesus in the midst of it all. So we felt thankful for that. That was a little bit of beauty in the midst of flooding too, is just to sit and sing together. And I'm always amazed by how gifted the people are that I get to spend my life with. So that was beautiful. I am heading out in 2 days to go on a bit of a journey. I will be traveling and doing some practical stuff. And then, it's interesting. I'm preparing and getting ready to go, and also feeling like I don't really want to leave home right now. And again, it's like always a good feeling to think, oh, it's going to be nice to go on a journey, and I also don't want to leave home, and kind of tells me I'm in a good place, because I love both. And what else? I think that's it. We can use your prayer and thoughts and support as we clean up and as we try to get life back to regular rhythms. We need love. We're thankful. Really show us if you have any pictures of you meditating or joining along with the podcast, or a little group that you have, anything like that. We love to see those. You can email those to us or message them to us at shekinacommunity@gmail.com is a great way to do it. And today's episode is a contemplation of nature meditation guided by Chinua and recorded at Shekina Garden in Thailand just before the first flood. You will need to find a piece of nature to observe during this meditation. So this can be something that you can hold in your hand, or something you can see or feel from where you sit. Something you can see or feel from where you sit might be the wind, or a tree in the distance, or a mountain, or the sky, anything like that, or something small that you can hold on to. Chinua will guide you through some questions about your object, and it's great to feel free to use all your senses, to play and be like a child, to be really open and aware, and just curious. Bring all your curiosity. The third part of the meditation is all about processing. So this depends on how you're meditating. If you're by yourself, you might like to journal or even record some of your thoughts with a voice recorder. Just something that will kind of process what you've been thinking about. If you want to draw out your thoughts, that's great too. And if you're meditating with others, you can have a little talking circle with some kind of object that shows whose turn it is to talk. It could be a talking stick or a stone. And it's an opportunity to learn to listen well to one another without correcting or teaching or anything, just hearing from each person's experience exactly where they're at that day. It always deepens the meditation to hear what other people thought or had or felt, because we're all very different, and it's nice to hear from one another. Let's begin.
Well, thank you, my friends, for coming this morning. I just take a second to really arrive and be present in your mind and your body. And check in with yourself. We're just going to be quiet for a second. Let's slowly become aware of your breath. Take in a couple of deep and clearing breaths all the way in, down, to your pelvis. Breathe out. Do it a couple times and then just settle into your normal pattern. As you breathe out, just feel your body. Find a position you can really hold for a moment. Right here in the beginning, let's try to keep our awareness on a straight spine. Be settled in. Of course, over the course of the meditation, you can shift, find a way that your body wants to be. Take extra care if you lay down. It's kind of prepares your mind for sleep. But other than that, just be comfortable. Just with a playful eye, just follow the breath as it goes through your nose and down through your throat, to the core of your body. Feel it nourishing your limbs, all the way out to your toes, fingertips, the tips of your hair. Just breathe fully into your body. Every time you breathe out, you're a little more settled, a little more loose. Feel the frame of your body against the cushion, which is resting on the floor, which is resting on the ground, supported by the whole earth. So we're going to open our ears to the world of sounds that's around us. With every breath, you can hear a little more clearly. There are natural sounds, the voices of animals and insects, birds. There are human sounds of voices in the distance, the sounds of machines, the movement of water and air. These sounds will be with us throughout the meditation. Just welcome them in. They're not a distraction. They're part of our experience. They can cause you to wonder, to travel, to see connections. The silence we're finding is our own stillness. As we sit and breathe and listen, just become aware of your stream of thoughts. There's no right or wrong thoughts to have. Just envision your stream as an actual stream in front of you. What is it like? It might be loud, fast moving, lots of turns. Or it may be smooth and quiet. It may be a small trickle. For a moment, just allow the thoughts to be as they are, flowing through your mind. As your thoughts flow, maybe thoughts of the future, on what's happening now, parts of your your morning, your past days or years. You yourself can be like a small bird, just watching the stream go by. You are not the stream. You even have the freedom to go higher in the tree you're sitting on. As you do, we can see more of the stream, but it's also quieter, further away. You can even take flight, and as you go up, it's quieter and quieter. Often when we breathe and listen and sit still, we can hear our heart of hearts, that innermost self. The truest you. In that space, we'd like to offer a prayer of welcome to the divine. It could be a prayer of words or a position of welcome, opening like a flower in your own way. Let's welcome the Spirit of God. In a moment, we're going to begin to explore the natural world. You'll be able to find one aspect of nature that speaks to you. You can take your time in finding it. Of course, something may speak to you right away, but you'll know. We're going to begin to ask ourselves a few simple questions with long moments of silence in between. Maintaining this feeling of stillness, we can begin to explore. You can get up now. We'll know that we're ready when everyone is back and seated in this circle. Even now, as we wait, you can start exploring your choice. Explore with all your senses. Touch. How does it sound? How does it feel? How does it make you feel? So during these sections of silence, you may find that there are ways that your imagination comes alive. You may find yourself listening to some sound. Going on some flight of imagination. Just continue to circle back to the questions. If the question helps you to connect with this aspect of nature, then use that. Certain questions will have a lot of power and invoke a lot of thought. Others may have less. It's okay. I'm going to ask 6 questions with around 4 to 5 minutes of silence in between each question. The first question is, how do I connect with this aspect of nature? How are we connected? And let's ask ourselves, how am I and this aspect of nature the same or very much alike? In what ways are we the same? And also ask yourself, how am I different from this small piece of nature? How are we not the same? Now let's ask ourselves, how does this aspect of nature, this one piece, connect to God? How are they connected? Now ask yourself, how is this part of nature and the divine the same? How is it like God? finally, let's ask ourselves, how is this part of nature different from God? How are they not the same? So take one clearing breath again. Just allow yourself to slowly return to this space. Soon we'll begin our talking circle, where you're welcome to share and exchange about our experience. You can take your time returning. We'll know we're all ready when we're seated with our eyes open.
When you are ready, take a few deep breaths and begin your time of journaling or sharing with others. Thank you for joining today. There will be a new guided meditation each week, so don't forget to subscribe on iTunes or sign up for our newsletter to get podcasts delivered to your inbox at www.shekinacommunity.com/podcast newsletter. Have a beautiful week. Blessings to you.